Good evening. It is right at 7 o'clock. KP Heathen, thank you for coming in. This is my 103rd Coffee Talk live stream. How you doing, KP? Hope the weather's good there. It was a little cool here in Victoria, Texas. Dry. Susan, thank you for coming in, Susan. Hello. The Bud Files. Five in the house. Please leave a like to support the channel. Would be appreciated. Well, tomorrow is traditionally what they refer to as the hump day, middle of the week. I've got 3 more days, and then I'll be off for 17 days for Christmas break. Pearl Carmen Castillo. Good evening, Pearl. Pearl Carmen Castillo. Let me look at your channel, young lady. Well, Pearl, you've got 2 subscribers. I just subscribed. Welcome to my channel. This is a link to Pearl's channel. Are y'all interested in prepping, being prepared? That's my main gig. I'd like to talk about prepping. Preparedness. I was a Boy Scout. The scouting motto is to be prepared. So the idea is that you basically try to learn what you can, have what you can for emergencies. It's important to know about first aid. It's important to know what to do in an emergency. Have some idea. You need to have bottled water available. If the water turned off, do you have water for a few days to drink, to prepare your food? You need to have food in case something happens. Do you have food laid back for a while? What about medication? Do you have medication? You take medication. Do you have a supply of your medication? You need to think about these things. What do you do in the event of an emergency? You need to think about that. Ah, Fry, okay. Well, I did give you a standard moderator, so you have a blue wrench. Welcome to my channel. And I'll make a note to visit your channel. I use my backup channel to give watch time. I use my main channel to give watch time too, but I use my backup channel to give watch time. I appreciate that. So Fry. Fog. Story. Okay. I will be visiting you. It's a slow start, slow start. 4 in the house. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope the weather's good where you're at. Winter is here. So, line from a movie, Winter is Coming. Well, winter is here right now. We had a light freeze yesterday, overnight freeze, light freeze, got down to about 30. Had frost all over my windshield. On my vehicle, I had to run water over it. I live in Texas. I'm about 100 miles north of Corpus Christi. I'm about 100 miles south of Houston, right there in that sweet spot in the middle. And San Antonio is about 100 miles to the west of me. I'm 20 miles inland from the Gulf in Victoria, Texas. And for those of you who are new to me, I am an educator. I put 30 years in education. I retired as I'd been a school administrator for 23 years of those years. I retired, and after 5 years, I'm back teaching as a teacher. And I'm enjoying what I do, and it is a means to have something to do, to be out of the house during the day, and to make extra money. I do get a nice retirement check from the state. I do get my health insurance from the state, but it's always good to have extra money, especially when you got a wife and a kid you're supporting. So, you know, when you're young, if you're involved in scouting, they teach you basically like, what do you do if you want to start a fire? How do you make a safe fire, a campfire? They teach you how to make a fire. They teach you how to be out overnight using a tent, how to pitch a tent, where to pitch a tent, what should you have with you in a backpack, basic first aid. You work towards merit badges, get patches, and you learn different things. You learn the basics of cooking, how to make a breakfast over a campfire, how to make coffee, woodcraft, leather crafts. You learn different things. You learn about plants and animals. You learn that in scouting when you're, 12, 13, 14 years old. It's a good experience. I really enjoyed it. It was interrupted. My father passed away when I was 14, and I no longer participated. But I got a couple years of scouting, and it was very fun. I didn't stay with it long enough to become an Eagle Scout. Usually, you stay in scouting. You normally, if you start young and you work your way through, you'll normally be able to work your way, and eventually you'll get what's called Eagle Scout, which is the highest rank you can get in scouting. And you usually get that around your senior year of high school when you're getting ready to graduate. And the idea is preparedness. Learning the basics of first aid, learning learning how to tell what an edible, what is edible out in the wilderness, what is not edible, learning how to fish, learning how to clean a fish, basic hunting, learning how to use a bow and arrow, learning how to use like a 22 rifle. learning how to use a compass, read a map, all the basic stuff. Now, I would say in the process of learning these things, that if you really do what you need to, you will pick up skills for life. Hello, bus stop. I didn't try to, I'll try later on to click on that, what you sent me, that second one. The first one wouldn't load up. And I'm sorry, but technology is blessed, and it's also a curse. My friend Bus Stop is up north. He has a channel, I think he just reached 1,000 here just recently. And now he's trying to get his watch hours. I'm sure if you would subscribe to him, he will subscribe to you. And if you will view his videos and leave him some nice comments and likes, he'll do the same thing for you. He's a very nice young man. So I will show you something, and I need to load it. I did a short today that I need to load up, and I will load it up so that y'all can watch it. I ordered on Amazon coffee, and I did a unboxing of it, and I gave a couple of packs to a couple of folks at work, and I saved one at work, and it's like a 12 pack. Got a real good price on it. This was about $12, so I got it for about $1 a pack. There's 7 of them, and this is very tasty. This is Nescafé Classical, and it's dark roast. Nescafé Classical dark roast. I ordered it on Amazon. I got a 7-pack. I left a pack at work. I drank a couple of cups today. My aides each drank a cup today. I gave them each a little pack, 7-pack. And I buy Nescafé at Walmart. They sell what's called a 6-pack. It goes for $1.16 for 6. You get 6 of them, and it's a medium roast. And I like to do coffee. I call this coffee talk. And I like to do coffee. I like to do, I like tacos, taquitos, or whatever you want to call them, burritos in some parts of the world. They call them burritos. But like a breakfast taco. Made with tortillas. Made with a tortilla. Little Lone Prepper, thank you for coming in. And Hillbilly Josh Loftus, thank you for coming in. So I got that order in. I'm really liking it. I'm gonna order another pack of them, and I may load some of those up in my little gift boxes, because those are really nice little stick coffees, instant coffee. Really good stuff. And so I made a short, and then it did not want to let me. You load up some images, or you load something up, and then it will hold you back several hours before you can load up anything new. If you go and you load some stuff up, it'll stop you from loading up new images or new videos or shorts or whatever for a period of several hours, and then it'll free it up, and then you can go ahead and you can load up more stuff. I mean, you can load up 10 or 15, you can load up 10 or 15 things at one time, but once you load them up, it'll have a certain period of time before it does not want you to load anything else up. So like I said, I bought a 12-pack of this, 7 in a pack. This is dark roast, Nescafé Classico, and very nice tasting, very good tasting dark coffee. I really, really liked it. I used some French vanilla creamer with it, and it was delicious. Very, very good. And I had ordered a 12 pack off of Amazon. Paid $12 for it. I'm gonna load up some images on my community wall, and I'll post up on my community wall with the information. Um, so as I was saying to some of my new visitors, I had a couple of new people come in, and they were asking about my channel, and I was saying, I do preparedness, I do prepping, and I was trying to explain what the idea of prepping is being prepared, like the scouting motto, be prepared. And in order to be prepared, you have to basically plan. You have to have skills. You have to learn. You have to uh, collect or accumulate items that you would need in an emergency. I ordered a new chair for my man cave. I'm sitting in it right now, brown leather chair. Uh, I got it from again. I got it on Amazon. I paid about $90 for it. It's not a big oversized one, but it's got a nice back where I can support myself. I'm sitting in it. It's comfortable. The seat's comfortable. I'm up higher. It holds me up, and it's got nice leather armrests. And this is false leathers. It's vinyl. It's not actually leather. It's vinyl, but it looks nice and it feels comfortable, and I'm enjoying it. And I paid less than $100 for it, so at this point I'm happy. I try to keep some of those coffees on hand. They're easy when you don't need a full pot. Yeah, stick coffee, or if you've got a Keurig, just a pod. Uh, and they're just as good as Keurig pods, but a lot more budget friendly. Yeah, you buy pods, and right now pods are probably going for about 50 cents a piece. So you buy like a 12 pack of pods, you may pay, $5, $6 depending what you're buying. I can remember when you'd buy pods, and they'd be a quarter a piece. You know, so you'd buy a 12 pack of pods, and you for $3, and then it was $4, and then it's $5, and some of them it's $6 depending on what you're getting. So the pods are like going for between 2 and 3 for a dollar. Whereas the stick, you get these little coffee sticks, and like you get the Folgers, you get Folgers for $7 for a dollar. The Nescaf that you get over at Walmart, you get 6 of those for a dollar. They're very good. And then these I got 7, and I ordered them off of Amazon, 7 for a dollar. Nescaf Classico, and I like them because they're dark roast, and they're very good, very good. And I will probably put a pack of each pack of those in the gift boxes I send out for Christmas. WD Glock and Roll, can we get a tour of the man cave? A tour. Yeah, I tell you what, I'll do a tour video. I'll do an in-depth tour video of the man cave. And if you want to look, if you want to see what my house looks like, some of my earlier videos that I've done, I walk around in the house, with my phone, shooting stuff, different, like in the kitchen, in the dining room, in the bedroom, in here. Where you basically out back, out front, you get a tour, like the chicken coop, the storages, I've got several storages that were built in the back. There's a lot of stuff that's like a tour video. You see a pack of something behind me. That what's behind me, I bought those at Walmart on clearance. Those are ReadyWise. They originally were going for, I don't know what they go for now. I'd have to check, but at the time they were going for $88 for a bucket, and they had them on sale for $40. They're trying to get rid of them, and there are two different buckets that have different items. So some of the items are the same, but different items. You know, two different buckets. And I bought 5 of one and 5 of the other. I spent $400 when I bought them, but I saved like over 50% because they were going for $88. And I got them, and I've had those for about 2 years, and 4 of them are sitting there on a shelf. I've got some more of them over on a shelf in the corner that I've shown before, and uh, I've got a couple that are down below that you can't see, you know, but there are 10 of those. And then recently I did a post on my community wall of some 72-hour emergency food boxes, and you can see 10 boxes. It's like in my pantry. It shows, if you go look at my community wall, just look back at, that's all stuff that I've been buying and stuff that I have. Just look through there and you see images, and I talk about prices in it. And originally those were going for like $40, the 72-hour emergency food supplies, and they've got 5 different components in them. One of the components is whey milk, and then it's got like a breakfast cereal, like an oatmeal type cereal, and then it's got a rice dish with chicken, a macaroni dish, and another like a soup, like a soup. Those boxes have got different stuff in them, you know, different, and I got a combination. Well, anyway, those boxes right now, they were on sale for $30 on Amazon for Black Friday. That 72-hour emergency food supply was Smashing Machine. Thank you for coming in. $30 for a 72-hour food supply. Well, before Walmart had them, and this is a couple of years ago, they were selling those, and they wanted to get rid of them, and they put them on clearance. So they had them marked down to $9. Well, when they marked them down to $9, I bought 20 of them. So I paid like $180 because I bought 20 of them, and I paid for them at $9 a piece. And those were regularly $40. And you can get them today for maybe $30 on sale. And they got good stuff. I've had some of it. It's decent stuff. It's not gourmet, but it's decent, and it'll feed you. And I purchased those. And I buy when I can get clearance and I can get a real good deal on something other. I'll buy a bunch of it. And I bought a bunch of those, and they'll last. Those will be good for 30 years. Those things are good for you keep them in a reasonable temperature, out of the sunlight and everything, and decent conditions. They'll be good 30 years later. Idaho Garden Girl, thanks for coming in. 6 in the house, 9 likes. Mike Rise, how's the family? I watched a couple of your videos and I left you some nice comments, Stephanie. I used to use a dehydrator. I had a dehydrator my mom bought, and we would use it, and we would dehydrate back in the 80s, early 90s. We used the dehydrator, and we would take fruit and various items, you slice them, and yeah, back in the days, that was popular. It's like at one time what they called juicing was popular. We used to do juicing, where you blend up and make your, yeah, we used to do that. It was like a diet craze, a good health craze, juicing. But we would dehydrate. Used to like to do banana chips. That was really, you do the cherry tomatoes. You can do strawberries. You do the banana chips. I enjoyed making my own banana chips. Susanna Morrison, proud single mom. Thank you for coming in, Susanna. Susanna is on the other side of the world. Beautiful young lady. Has a beautiful young daughter. Single mom taking care of her child. She's over right now. It's going on 7:30 where we're at. It's probably about 8:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the evening, mid states in the United States. Over where she's at, it's like 8:30 in the morning. So she's like half a day ahead of us, 13 hours, a little over half a day. That's wonderful. You have to figure, you have to look at what's in these cans. You also have to look at, what sort of servings you can get with it and make a determination. Um, like the whey milk, like or the powdered milk. So I've got tons of it. I literally have tons of the powdered milk. And you get all sorts of kits, and whenever you get a kit, it's always got a supply of milk in it. And then you can also get like a number 10 can of milk. And like the one that Augustin Farms sells, it'll make 2.5 gallons of milk. 2.5 gallons. And the idea is, well, you mix up as much as you need. You can mix up like a pint at a time, a quart at a time. Just so much of the powder to the water and everything. You mix it up, and it lasts, and you can reseal it. Proud Islander, thank you for coming in. So when you start looking at like potatoes or whatever, well, how much are you going to use? And that's like a bread and butter. Uh, that's a bread and butter product, potatoes. So you're probably going to use a lot, of that. So you wonder, well, how long will that last you? You got to figure it out. And then you figure, well, how many people am I feeding? How often am I going to be using that? So that's how you determine how much of it you need. What are you anticipating for? Maybe one number can will do you because it would probably last you several days or a week. Probably last you a week, maybe. Making, potatoes. So it's like, well, what are you prepping for? FEMA says you should prep for 1 week. I think you should prep for a lot longer than that. I think you should prep for at least a month. So you need to figure out, well, how much bottled water do I need for a month? Am I storing gallon jugs? Am I storing the half liters, by 24 pack or 32 or 40 pack half liters? How much of that do I need? Do I have like plastic jugs, like 3 gallon jugs or 5 gallon jugs? How much of that do I need? You have to make a determination based upon usage. You've got to have for consumption. You've got to have for food prep. And don't even think about for hygienes. Like you want to take a shower a couple of times a week. How much do you need to use for a shower? 3-4 gallons. So you start adding that up. It's like, well, how much do I need? You know. Mm. Becoming dangerous. Wayne, the ungrateful peasant, is in the house on his backup channel, Becoming Dangerous. Thank you for your service, Wayne. Wayne is a former member of the service. Always thank service members You know, thank responders, thank the law enforcement. They risk their lives every day. Thank you for your service. Here's the Cold War prepper, another former member of the service, put 20 years in or so. Thank you for your service, Lee, and thank you for coming in. I hope things are going well with you. Oh, it's just my upbringing. I do, you know, I've got a deputy sheriff at work at our school that, you know, schools are required to have peace officers or somebody that's armed. I mean, I see him every day and I tell him, thank you for your service, sir. So don't feel like I'm putting myself out, and I don't mean to be embarrassing you. The other thing, you know, when I tell people thank them for their service, I'm basically trying to teach other people to do the same thing. You know, it'd be nice if more people did that. A figure in a realistic number of dollars in waste prepping, like take flour. We will never use all the flour stocked in good times, so I might lose $100 in spoilage. Well, yeah. I mean, I have shit. I probably have about $150. Well, let's say I have about 150 pounds of white rice and another 100 pounds or so of pinto beans that I have in white food grade buckets, mylar bags, oxygen and moisture absorbers, and sealed. And I don't know how long those will last. You know, we want to use beans and rice, and we eat beans and rice, you know. And rice is like a side dish for a lot of stuff that we eat. We eat a lot of starch. I buy rice, you know, we buy smaller quantities of rice. And I buy smaller quantity beans, all sorts of beans, you know. So, yeah, there'll be some wastage. Mr. Whistle, how you doing? Mom of 4 boys, thank you for coming in. And I do try to give back, you know. I ran some live streams last night for several channels that support me. I watched some videos, like I watched a couple of Idaho Garden Girls videos. And I run a live stream of Lee's, and honestly, I did a playback. I didn't actually watch it, but I did watch one of his videos. You know, I picked a video that he had dropped, and I watched that. It was very, very good video. I left him a comment on it. And then I ran a live stream that was like over an hour to give him watch time. And that one, I mean, my iPad ran it when I was sleeping, but he got the watch hour for it. So that's the important thing. And I left him a comment. And Lee, I tell you, I ordered some Nescafé Classical Dark Roast. I ordered a 12-pack on Amazon, about $12. 7 of these. The Dark Roast sticks, 7 sticks. I may send you something for Christmas, and if I do, I'll put some of this in there. Got a box of it, just got it in from Amazon. I did a short, you know, unloading it and everything. It'll be about a minute, and I'll load it up probably in the morning. But I edited it and put some little, you know, typed in some little description stuff in it, and really good stuff. I gave a pack to Each of my aides, they tried it. I got some at work. Really good instant coffee. I really enjoyed it, and it's dark roast. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. About $1 a box. But a 12 pack. I'm planning on getting another 12 pack. Ordering another 12 pack. Um. So yeah, you start. You, you know, you're prepping, and you get an inventory of what you have, things that you have, that you make a list of things that you need. Like you can make a list. These are the things I need to live for a period of time, and some of them you already have, and some of them you probably need to get. You know, and then like you want to make sure you've got enough to tide you over, and you have to determine, well, how many people am I feeding? How many people am I tiding over? You know, immediate family. You have to allow for that. Determine that. Yeah, yeah. The European coffee's good. It is. I mean, they make some smooth coffee. Like some of those European military rations, the stuff is real smooth. I mean, really smooth. And I like that the jams that they use. Like they'll use like a blackberry jam. And you usually don't get that with the American stuff. You usually do not get that. I mean, traditionally you'll get either apple, strawberry, or like maybe peach. You know, grape. The most common one is grape jelly, grape, and then apple or strawberry, and sometimes you get peach, or you'll get um, you don't get some of the more exotic types. Yeah, and that's a good thing. I would like I would do the number 10 cans and stuff that I try to stock up on the most, things that you use like butter. So I would get like the milk. I would get the milk. I'd get the butter powder. Maybe some peanut butter powder. You can get some. Now Lee is prejudiced against oatmeal, but you know you can get instant oatmeal, like a 10 pack for like $1.80, and buy some boxes of that. A couple of packs of that, and it lasts for a long time. A couple of packs of an oatmeal. Put a little bit of honey or a little bit of sugar in with it. When you mix in with your water, and I mean that really is a good meal. It really is a good meal. It's inexpensive, and the stuff lasts a long time. And Lee, in an emergency, you better get used to it, son, because I mean, what you have available is what you eat. And likewise, um, you can get some eggs, powdered eggs, the potatoes, good stuff. Bread mix. I've got several number 10 cans of bread mix. You can get like you can get like and it's inexpensive. You can get a number 10 can of like wheat wheat cereal, and basically it's like cream of wheat. And you can basically mix it up. It's a hot cereal, cream of wheat. You can get that in number 10 cans. I mean, good stuff, really good stuff. And those are not the expensive number 10 cans. You can also get like a number 10 can of coffee. You can get freeze dried coffee that like long term storage coffee that'll last you 30 years. You can get a probably for about $50. You can get a bucket coffee that'll like 1 cup for a year. Enough to make a cup for a year. So the way I drink coffee If I want a year's supply of it, I'd need several of those because I drink 3 or 4 cups a day, you know. But then, likewise, you also have to take into consideration, well, how many people are with you, and each of them are going to be consuming too. You have to take that in consideration. So if you plan on like 4, like you're trying to feed 4, then you need to make sure you got 4 of everything. Likewise, do you have a way to heat? How are you going to boil water? You need to be able to boil water to, for purification. You need to be able to boil water for rehydrating foods, or for coffee, or for hot tea, or you need to be able to heat a soup, or whatever. You need to be able to boil water. Well, how are you going to boil water? And to me, well, I mean, yeah, you can have a wood burning stove, which is great. Propane will last for a while before the propane runs out. I like to use sterno. You can do that indoors. It's also a means to heat. You have 2 or 3 of those burning, and they'll heat a room. You have to take in consideration stuff like that. Yeah, and the MREs will help you poop. It will. You need to. You also need to take in consideration, what are you going to do when the sewer system's not working? Yeah, if you've got a septic system, you're out there and you've got your own septic system, chances are it's not going to shut down on you the way the sewer system would work in the city when the power goes out. They're not going to be pumping all that stuff. So yeah, eventually that'll break down on you where you can't really use your toilet. But what are you going to do? Well, you can use a 5-gallon bucket. You can use 13-gallon trash bags, and you can get a plastic toilet seat like this. I got a couple of them, and put that over the 5-gallon. Do your business. Use wipies or whatever. Then you seal the first bag. Take the second bag, seal it over the first bag, take it out and dump it. And if there's no garbage pickup, you want to make sure you dump it someplace where you're not going to smell it. Yeah, the wheat honey powder's good. I like that. The pancake mix, that's good stuff. Hash browns, yep. Good stuff. All good stuff. Excuse me. I have been draining for the last couple of weeks. Still sick. Taking medication. One of the kids at school got everybody sick, including me. He wound up having to go to the emergency room. And he was sick, stayed home for several days, but he came back before he was well. And he gave it to everybody else. And a week later, we're all sick. And that's just the way that works. Mm. I bought a 72 3-packs for $20. You can use one of these little emergency stoves. I like to use, I got a bunch of them. I'm giving these out for Christmas. Use sterno or canned heat. Giving some of those out for Christmas. I got a whole box of them. So, look at my community wall. You'll see a lot of the stuff that I've been collecting. So I said, is it safe to keep those inside? I've got I've got a bunch of those 1 pound propane bottles. Is it safe to keep those inside? Is it safe to keep anything any place, I mean, I was joking. I said I got quite a bit of ammunition in my gun safe right here in the corner. Is it safe to keep that? You know? Yeah, you can get lots of stuff. I've got quite a bit of military type rations, the sides, the desserts, the cookies, the cakes. And I've got so many of those 8-ounce mains, it's not funny. Different varieties of them. You can boil them, heat them up. They're pretty good. I took some to school and we opened them up and made them with the kids, and tell them this is the type of stuff that they eat. And I let them sample it, and all. And oh goddamn, that's a lot of money. Excuse my language, Lord. Woo! My wife costs me a lot of money with her medical bills. She's got poor health and she maxes out the insurance, and she's had several surgeries in the last 3 years. And I try to get, once we get maxed out, I try to get as much stuff done or testing or whatever she needs, Try to get as much as that done before the year ends, because then it rolls over and they get to start charging you again, and you start paying co-payments and everything, and try to get your deductible, your matching and all that up. And it's like, oh god darn, that's the way they make money on you. The poor people, they just go to the emergency room and they get free services. At, taxpayers got to pay it. You go to county, they basically roll it over on everybody else. Before you get those $8, $10 aspirins, you check the bill, says 2 aspirins, $12. Oh golly. You remember back in the day when there was a big scandal with the military and somebody got a hold of what they were charging, and they said a toilet seat, for a plane or whatever, some of these bombers, some of these planes, that they fly for a day or two, so they got to have like a facility, or one of these big jetliners, for the president or whatever. And it's a $2,000 toilet seat. It's like, golly, and how do they justify that? Well, they're billing that, and then they're using a lot of that money for black ops. But that's how they do that. That's how they do the voodoo paperwork. Is they're doing it, and then they're charging it for black op items. And you wonder, well, what's going on? And it's like, well, they're pulling one, but they're creative accounting. Yeah, we spend more money on the pets than we do on me. Uh, I go every January. I go for my wellness checkup, and it's in the insurance. And then the doctor will write me a script for a year for my medication. I take like 5 different medications, and she'll write me a year script, and the insurance pays a 90-day supply. So after 90 days, I get another 90-day supply. So my wellness checkup is paid for by the insurance. My medications are pretty much paid for by the insurance. They do blood work, and then the last time, the insurance told me, well, I may owe $3 for my blood work, and then they tried to send me a 30 some odd dollar bill, and I didn't pay it. So I go back. I'm gonna take that little thing. It says, well, I owe $3 for my blood work. That's what the insurance company told me. I said, you want to hassle me and send me like 2 or 3 letters, trying to collect $3? Well, hell, I'll give you the $3. But I mean, it's absolutely stupid. Stupid. And they'll send a collection agency after you for $3 damn. Yeah, yeah. My wife's is $750 a month, and she's considered high risk. I don't have her insurance with my retirement. I mean, I could get a better deal from the standpoint of the monthly, because putting her on my retirement with the state would be $500 a month. But, you know, she's not the primary, she's the secondary, and it doesn't do worth a damn, because a lot of her meds, they charge. You have to pay for the meds. Her co-payments or anything. It's like, if you're the secondary, or you're not the primary on the insurance, but you got them on it, oh, trust me, you pay. You pay. I mean, there's a lot of crap, going on. There's a lot of stuff coming out. A lot of stuff coming out. And you don't get it on the mainstream media. You get what they want you to get. They don't necessarily tell you about everything. Um, if you want to talk politics a little bit, I don't want to offend anybody or run anybody off, but I'll just say a couple of things that are, related to the way things are. Um, the First Amendment in the Constitution basically promises the right to free speech. You should be able to express yourself. Now, you can't go into a crowded movie theater and start screaming fire and set everybody off in a panic. But you have the right to express yourself. Well, I like Biden, or I like Trump, or I like whoever the independent is, or whoever the socialist is, or whoever is. You have the right to voice your opinion. You have a right to support who you want to support, within reason. And you have certain rights. Um, the Second Amendment basically says you have the right to possess firearms. You have the right to possess a rifle. You have the right to possess a pistol. If you're an adult, you have certain rights. You have a right to defend yourself. Now, there are people who want to argue that, well, when they said that people had the right to bear arms, they were talking about the militia or the National Guard or whatever, which they had militias. And if you were a grown man back in the days, you were considered part of the militia. Population wasn't that big, and you were expected to, like once a month or every so often, they get together and they drill, and they would basically drill on how to march in form, how to you know go into rows, how to basically fire en masse at a target. One line fires, a second line fires, the first line's reloading, the second line's reloading. It took you 30 seconds or so to reload your single shot, never that. And they get together and they practice, and they practice how to march. They practice, they would practice how to move in mass, how to forward, withdraw, how to different, steps and such. And that was the way they fought back in the days. And there'd be mass casualties. You get two lines facing two lines and 100 yards apart, and then they just start shooting at each other. Somebody breaks, somebody doesn't break, somebody advances, somebody retreats, and that was the way they fought. Yep, a well-regulated militia. I said that to Lee. I was talking about you forming a militia. He says, "No, don't say militia." He said, "Don't say militia. Just say a mutual group of people trying to defend themselves, whatever. But don't say militia." He was worried that the FBI or the Justice Department or the people up there in the satellites would be, "Whoa, we need to send some people in there to figure out what's going on." They tried to overthrow the government or tried to do something other, illegal, And Ala Canada. Ala Canada. Is Food Forest in here? Hey, Food Forest, thank you for coming in. Food Forest Permaculture. In Ala Canada, my friend. Thank you both for coming in. Excuse my yawn. I'm tired. That the Texas Guard is sort of a militia. The National Guard is a militia. They get together like 1 weekend a month, and they basically do their basic drills and such. And then oftentimes they'll get together like during the summer for like 2 weeks, and that's when they go out and they do their little maneuvers, and they live in their tents and they do stuff out in the boonies. They go to the firing range and practice firing their weapon, cleaning their weapon. They get to eat a few MREs, and eat at a field kitchen when they're out for a couple of weeks. Like boys with toys, or girls with toys, or whatever you want to call it. They enjoy themselves, and and they're also a line of defense. Well, you've got some folks. However, my aunt, may she rest in peace, my Aunt Marie, grew up along the border in Texas. Beautiful Hispanic lady. Married my Uncle Howard, who was my father's baby brother. They got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And my Uncle Howard was the baby of my father's family. My father was 17 years older than my Uncle Howard. And Uncle Howard's the only one still alive. He's 92 years old in Georgia. My father's family's from Georgia. And my aunt, may she rest in peace, she died. She was like 82. No, she was 80. 82. Well, she died about a year ago. So about 82. And my Uncle Howard was about 10 years older than her. And I can remember when I used to go back there and visit. And she would always complain to me, and she'd say, Howard was raised by women." And she was always saying he was raised by women. He wasn't raised by men. He was raised by women. Now, mind you, my uncle Howard was a graduate. My uncle Howard is a graduate of Georgia State. He had a bachelor's in business administration. He served in the military, and then he used his GI Bill, and he got a bachelor's in business administration. He never used it. He served 32 years in Georgia State Police, retired a peace officer. And then he also, when he retired from Georgia State Police, he continued to work, and he was security at a college. He did security at a college for a few years before he actually retired, retired. And he probably stopped when he was about 70. He's been retired for the last 20 odd years. And I can remember my Aunt Marie used to always complain that he was raised by women. Well, hell, my father died when I was 14, and I was raised by a woman. But I did lots of manly things. And I consider myself very manly. I don't consider myself effeminate. Yeah, freshly immigrated. Let me give you some statistics on that. According to the powers that be, there are over 50 million foreign born people living in the United States. Chew on that one. Over 50 million foreign born people living in the United States. Last few years, they say we've been having over 3 million a year come over here. Over 3 million a year come over. And these are not legal, these are illegal. Come on in, the border's wide open. Find yourself a sanctuary city and start milking it. Bus stop, I think, is up in Ohio. You up in Ohio? It's getting crowded up there. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, I have said, and it will never happen, if you put me in charge of the border and you give me the people to back me up, I will seal the border and I will start dealing with the illegal problem. Now, of course, there are those who would think that the Antichrist had shown up, but I'd take care of the problem. I would take care of the problem. And I know I'm a horrible person. I'm a horrible person. But honestly, and being seriously, we can't support the population of the planet. We do not have the resources to support the planetary population. And we are going further and further in debt for nothing, for no benefit whatsoever. And it's devaluing our money. Inflation is running wild. It's weakening us. I mean, we're building up our military, our equipment, our technology, our Navy, our Air Force, our military, Army. We're building all this technology up, but the fitness of the people that they're recruiting, they're having a hard time meeting their recruitment goals. They're having to offer them an arm and a leg to join. Retention, trying to retain people. People who are in shape to fight, physically that could fight. They're having a hell of a time. You know, we're an overweight country. Look at me. Good Lord, I got a little bit shit. I'm up to 245. I was for a long time. I was about 230, but I haven't been doing anything. I eat. I don't eat the way I used to eat. I eat, but my metabolism slowed down. I'm not exercising the way I used to. I'm not walking the way I used to. I sit on my butt all day in my classroom. I spend most of my time on my butt at my computer, you know, prepping work and taking attendance and doing IEPs and various things, stuff that takes a lot of time on the computer. I've got my aides working with the kids. I give them the work and let the aides turn loose and start working with them. And I'm past 60 now. My metabolism slowed down. Devil Dog Prepper, thank you for coming in, Devil Dog Prepper. Please leave me a like if you haven't left a like. I will tell you. Thank you. Just shut up and eat it. Oh, I eat, but I mean, I'm trying to cut down on eating. Like I've been trying to swear off tacos. I've been eating oatmeal, for breakfast. Eating a couple of packs of oatmeal. Trying to swear off the tacos. They're good, but they're also a lot of calories. I haven't been drinking sodas the way I used to drink sodas. I used to drink sodas like they're going out of style. I drink a lot of coffee now. I don't put sugar in the coffee, but I do put creamers in it. A little creamer. Well, the vaccines that they use, like the flu vax, and I've never had the flu vax, but I support people who take it. They modify the vaccine every year for the variety of the flu that year, for the strain of the flu. They modify it. Now, when they developed the vax for, the C-19, and they started getting it out to people, that was developed for that initial C-19. And after several years, multiple years, they had not modified what they were putting out for it. They would just give you another dose of the same thing, call it a booster. But it's not effective because the strain changes, it mutates, and they're not adjusting what they're giving you for that mutation. And I've known people who have been vaxxed 3-4 pops, and they still get it. The president got it. The president's missus got it. He had multiple sticks. And then you have to worry about, well, what are some of the side effects of that vax? Because there are side effects. A lot of people are having heart issues from the side effects. they've also determined that there's a long variant of that virus. They call it long C. And people will have effects for months at a time, up to a year or more. And, I mean, that's a fact. It really is a fact. I own a 223. I own several pump shotguns, 12 gauge, 20 gauge. I own all different calibers of rifles. I enjoy bolt action. So I've got a number of bolt action rifles, different calibers. I have some semi-automatics that will take large magazines. I'd like to get an AR-10. I would love to get one in 308. I don't. I have a bolt action, but I don't have a an AR-10. I'd love to build an AR-10 platform with the 308. Put a nice scope on it. That would be a good extended something that you could use after SHTF for long distance varmint control and such, if you know what I mean. That'd be a nice one. 30-06, a nice one. You know. They did a study in Europe on, they were basically giving kids the vax, and what they found was it suppressed the immunity system for other things, so it made them more likely that they would get other things because their immunity system was suppressed. And they also found that there was, heart problems. So that's a major, concern. And they found like it did more damage giving it to kids than it helped. And that was a European study. I don't think they've done a study over here, but that was a study that was done over in Europe. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm an anti, that particular vax. I'm anti, and I have not had it. Nobody in my family's had it. The government, the government screwed itself wanting to get rid of a bunch of military people who refused to take it. Now, because of court cases and such, they're being required to bring them back in and pay them a lot of money. And a lot of them, they don't want to come back. And they lost some really good people with some really good skills because of the stupidity of the administration. So you have to think about those things. And you have to think about what you're dealing with and, who you're dealing with. And it's pathetic to me. A lot of the stuff that's going on is just pathetic. Bus stop in your guard, I'm sure they probably want to bend you over, stick you in the butt with it. There's a lot of meat back there, just right in the Botox. God bless you. Man. Thank you, Alan Caneda. Goodbye. I will visit you again. Don't forget to visit me. So, you know, we could talk about conspiracies and talk about all sorts of neat stuff. I appreciate everybody coming in. Tomorrow is hump day, it's Wednesday. I will be back for another edition of Coffee Talk. I'll try to load that short that I did on my coffee, my unboxing, and I'll try to load that up. I appreciate everybody coming in. Yeah, they're experimenting with us. I really think they're experimenting with stuff that they're doing. The CDC, and what the hell are we giving money to China to do research for? We can't do our own research. Why are we supporting Chinese research and gain of function research? What the hell are we doing supporting gain of function research in China? You know, to me that'd be a big red flag. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Remember that the Scout motto is be prepared. It is what it is. Life is good, but it is what it is. Everybody have a blessed day, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time for another edition of Coffee Talk. Everybody have a blessed day, and we'll see y'all later. Gotta work tomorrow.